Hi friends, let's take a look at the charts together. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Let's have a look at this structure here. On the 4-hour time frame, you can see I've drawn in these two lines, kind of giving us an idea of perhaps a symmetrical triangle. And there's a couple of measured moves off the back of it. And what have we done so far? Only we've come up to wherever the sort of potential fake out territory is off of this symmetrical triangle and no further. Will we see continuation and a push towards the top side, or is that all we're going to get? With this consolidation period here, simply setting people up with a bit of the old sort of FOMO perhaps in order to end up putting on positions which could then supply liquidity to the other side of the market. That's what we're going to try and find out in this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done already. So zooming on in then to take a closer look at the price action, and let's just cover off what I was saying first off in terms of the fake out territory from this thing. Now, when we do symmetrical triangles on the Rocky Outcrop channel, we tend to also talk about where the fake out could be on these things, and this one so far is really just exemplifying that for us right now. And that's okay, because a retest of this thing, as we're seeing here, is actually a positive thing in terms of saying that we've established this now, which was formerly resistance, as support, and we can look to higher prices. So that's a good thing, but let's be honest as well, it'd probably be better if it hadn't done this. And in so many ways, looking over here at the price action, where did it come up as high as? And we have this magnolia colored line in here that came up and it kissed it oh so spectacularly in the last days. That's yesterday at 8 p.m. And looking over towards the left, what is that line? Well, that is the 236 here. And this is of utmost importance for us, as we spoke about many times along the way, along all of this price action back here at 394. You can see there at 392.80, we've just come up and got darn well close to that, giving it a wee peck on the cheek. And so far then, the prices have pulled back down the way. In fact, they've subsequent to touching the 236 over there, they've dropped down 4%, finding ourselves just down 1.9% on the day, but actually resulting in a red day, which has had the potential to be a positive one overall. Setting with a nice setup from last night, moving past this area of resistance. So where do we see the prices have actually come back down to then? And that is the 382 over here at 385, and we're back down below that. And again, then the targets towards the downside could easily be 353, 320, 312 as this golden pocket zone, excuse me. And then if we go for a 786 retracement down there to 274, and that would be quite impressive in a way, and also open up the opportunity for this retracement over here at the to come into play. Now, looking at that is of course as a result of this 236 being valid here at this current time, and of course then the three targets below that are 335, 287. And 240 down as far as 225. So that's where we could be looking if we see a failure to mount an actual proper climb to the top side, having actually so far pushed past 351. So if we just bring this back up again and say, well, we did move past 351 over here and on the 9th of September, and we've come up and down a few times in and around about these areas, really trying a couple of different Fibonacci retracement points along the way, such as the 382 and almost up as high as the 50%, but we've not achieved that 50% retracement yet. And instead, we're finding ourselves looking back again at this 236 there and saying, will we need to see this operate as support? And of course, that's 10% down from where we are now. So that's a fairly big chunk in terms of price action. But that is the reality of it if we sink back down below these lines over here. And if we just take away just take them away so you can see more clearly, in the background we have this parallel channel, and this is actually operated with us exactly giving us the lovely entries and exit prices and risk management zones, I should say, for us in terms of managing our trading here at 380. And if we see the prices drop down below 380, then they are re-entering this symmetrical triangle formation, going past this previous highs already happened. In fact, these two inflection points already gone past them. So closes on the 4-hour time frame, we've got 2 minutes and 57 seconds left of this one, so I'll actually be able to see it here. Closes down past this area are kind of negative for us, and we could then, we really would be hoping that the next candle would start off a bit of that greenness for us. but it's not a million miles away from being able to pull itself back up. Really just needs to go up another 40 cents in the next couple of minutes. Let's see how that fares. If not, then perhaps, things have not done that spectacularly. Now I'm just going to go back a couple of steps here so I can put those drawings back on for us, so you can see yet again the significance of that area really in terms of pushing down on the way for us if that happens to be the case. And I'll come back to this chart in 2 minutes after I've checked in with the other information that we need to see. Now, of course, as you can see here, this is similar to that other yellow line that we had on. We discussed this yesterday, so check out yesterday's video. As you can see, currently we're coming in and retesting this area, having broken up above it. Now, where will we see the prices move if we go either side of this? Either this operates as, in terms of support for us, showing that we're still above the 382. We still have the 50% area as a target towards the top side, and indeed perhaps the 420 blaze it zone even up higher. And this area, this confluence, this whole area here, it's full of profit-taking targets for people who've been long in it since the lows over there on the 5th of September. They might have been eyeballing these regions, and we could see a bounce down the way at any point along the way here. Something to look out for in general if we see this operate support. Now, if we see this fail, then the key areas towards the downside are going to have to be 360 followed up by $300 as well. $305 or so, 310, depends on what day it comes in at. But if we were to do that over the period of the next couple of days, those would be where you'd be looking to in terms of really needing to find a support to stay within the structure of this pitchfork that we've had on the go for quite a while now. Looking back actually to March, all of the price action has been fairly well showing the road mapped out ordnance survey here with this pitchfork for us. So that's great to see that we've got clear targets. Upside one then in terms of its most immediate target in terms of the pitchfork, $415. 416, let's call it 420 blaze it zone, where we could say that we've got 618 retrace. Downside target is going to be like 360, but let's call it 353 like we spoke about on the other chart there a second ago. Let's spend 30 seconds looking at the Ethereum to Bitcoin pairing before diving back over to the other chart and wrapping up the show and seeing where that 4-hour candle closed at. We had this head and shoulders over here, which we actually did make up the full measured move off the back of, done all of that. It's historical now at this point. Of course, it's debatable how this has been drawn in. If it had one fixed line at the bottom that I could use instead of having to do 2 points, then I'd be happier to clean it up all the time, make it make more sense. But anyway, we've done that one. And then we've got this bigger term head and shoulders potential for us here. And at the minute, we really need to ask a couple of questions in terms of the structure here in this thing. Are we going to stay above, which we have now made it back into the ascending broadening wedge. Are we going to stay above this? We're right on it here again, right on that line of which we drew that in at, or will we break down below it? Now, of course, establishing ourselves up above this area, we'll also be establishing ourselves up above a 236 over here, creating this as an invalid Fibonacci, removing off the board for the time being targets towards the downside of 0.03165, 0.02884, and then of course the golden pocket down here at 0.02604 going down to 0.02508 or 528. But that's right there where we are. But failure to do so could just simply kind of encompass this area into this right-hand shoulder, so to speak, of that head and shoulders. If you like, just kind of drag it over a bit, like kind of fitting it in here. And saying, well, we still have downside targets thereafter to look to. We have come up and done a few things in terms of Fibonacci, drawn in from the head down to the neck, more past, but actually to the ultimate lows that we've had since we put in the highs in the 2nd of September. So this retracement towards the top side versus this downward movement here has taken us so far right up to that 618 already, giving us a full sort of profit-taking retrace on this one already. And then we've seen the price action slump back down the way. Looking at this thing, if we drop down below the 382 on it at 0.035, we're at 3489, down below the 35 area, which is what we've been talking about for the last few days as being key, then, you could be looking down to 33.52. And in fact, then perhaps I'm lining up with our eyes on the prize in terms of this potential pattern playing out, in which case, you could be looking down to movements very much down to, where would the neckline really be? I'm not going to use just there, you know, like that. Oh, and that works out. So that's 618. So then you'd be looking down to 0.025. Well, interesting. That's that. Let's dive back over to the charts then and see how we really did manage to shape up here with this 4-hour candle close. And we've already started off the next one, a little bit green, come down here, and we have actually closed below the highs over here. So that's an interesting kind of thing. We'll look at this and say, are we able to see the prices move back up above 383, 380, 350 and really push on past that and put this in as a higher low overall, which it could be, you know, as part of this upward trend. We got a low here, a high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low potentially, and then go on up. So the two zones then remain and reinstigate that zone of fake out territory again at 390 up to the 395 area. Really watch out for that as being the fake out, like, you know, full fake out. Closes above that are going to be closing above this the 236, yeah, that's highlighted here, invalidating that one, giving us that positive scenario. Failure to do all of that and coming back down into these areas and pushing down past the parallel channel, symmetrical triangle, all obviously quite negative. The oscillators down below I haven't covered in great detail today or have a look at them at all. They've been on the screen the whole time, but I educate people like these all the time. I hope you've just been looking along the way as we've been looking at the charts together and making up your own mind about how things are shaping up with regards to them. We have spoken about it in the recent past, and you know, we can see clear things like if we push down past this line here on the stochastics, that would obviously be fairly significant. We have pushed up past it though towards the top side, and that's good. Anyway, enough of that. I'll catch you in the next episode. Just want to say before I tune out, there's a Bitcoin giveaway, Bitcoin giveaway competition. To enter, it's dead easy. Just leave a comment with saying Rocky, you rock, and now you can do that as many times as you like across all the videos. And 10 Satoshis for every view that we get on the channel. And if you just tune in here for the first time, you're really getting that value and you're thinking, I could do with subscribing to this guy. I would highly encourage you to do so. I would really appreciate it and it would help the channel grow. That'd be fantastic. Like buttons, all that good stuff. You know it. You've seen YouTube before. I'll catch you in the next episode. Oh, youtube.com/Rocky Outcrop. Share that with your friends. Tell them to get in on YouTube's best kept secret. See you next time.